CHERKAOUI.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Akinola, and today at the Saudi Green Building Forum Pavilion, we are having today our last sessions, morning and afternoon. We'll be kicking off today's session. By the way, today's theme is food, agriculture, and water. Today's the Water Day at the COP28 UAE, and we have a very interesting keynote today that will be delivered by Ayman CHERKAOUI. Ayman is the director at Hassan II International Center for Environmental Training. I will hand over the mic to Ayman to his presentation.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, welcome to the Saudi Green Building Forum Pavilion. I am very happy to be here. I work with the Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Protection, and I'll be speaking about the Marrakech palm grove in Morocco. So the Marrakech Palm Grove is one of the programs. Is it better? Okay. The Marrakech Palm Grove is one of the programs of the Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Protection, which is chaired by Her Royal Highness Princess Lala Hasna. The Marrakech Palm Grove itself was classified in March 1929, so almost exactly 100 years ago, as a protected site by Royal Dahir. Many years later, in 2005 to be more precise, His Majesty the King Mohammed VI entrusted Her Royal Highness Princess Lala Hasna, President of the Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Protection, with the mission of federating and mobilizing numerous players to initiate the safeguarding and development of the Marrakech Palm Grove. The effective launch of the program took place on March 2007 in Marrakech, of course. The Marrakech Palm Grove program has a series of subcomponents in its activities. It consists in planting and through voluntary carbon offsetting, nature-based solution for climate action, the maintenance and watering of planted areas, the watering with treated wastewater, the support for local family farms in the practice of agroecology, and environmental awareness and education initiatives, again, to the benefit of the local population in the Marrakech Palm Grove. What are some key achievements that have been achieved to date? Well, first, the densification of the palm grove with about, more than 620,000 plants that were planted. It's about 5,000 trees that are planted every year, sequestrating the equivalent of 162 tons equivalent CO2. Also, ensuring the northwest palm grove section is watered using purified wastewater, and we are working to 2023 with the goal to also include the northeast portion of the Marrakech Palm Grove in terms of watering through purified wastewater. We are also very deeply focused on the maintenance of almost 600 hectares of restricted and protected palm grove. As I mentioned previously, we are very closely working with local population in this particular space, more specifically providing support to 50 family farms and the creation and supporting the creation of an agricultural cooperative. In 2014, we initiated the process for the classification of the marshes of the Marrakech Palm Grove as a site of biological and ecological interest. A lot of training and capacity building activities and sustainable development. Also, the 9 schools in that particular area are part of the Eco Schools program that we have in partnership with the International Foundation for Environmental Education. We also initiated an observatory of the Marrakech Palm Grove to be present locally and work closely with the local civil society stakeholders. We established last year, 2 years ago actually, a digital and cartographic survey of the entire Marrakech Palm Grove, which consists in about 12,000 hectares, one of the biggest in the whole world. And also in terms of making sure that we prevent the dumping of waste and rubble and other waste in this particular area through safe measures. This is what the 12,000 hectares of the Marrakech Palm Grove look like. As you can see, the darker green elements showcasing higher density palm grove areas, whereas the lighter green showcase areas where we have a lower density in terms of Marrakech Palm Grove. So what is new in terms of our activities there? Last year, we launched a process to have an ecosystem approach for the sustainable management of the Marrakech Palm Grove with two key elements. First, the inventory and diagnosis of the ecosystem that is in existence there. And secondly, putting in place, defining in close consultation with all the stakeholders, in particularly at the national and local level, but also including best practices at the international level, a roadmap for implementing the better ecosystemic approach, and then choosing between different scenarios to put in place that roadmap. So what has been chosen in terms of development scenario is a differentiated management of the Marrakech Palm Grove territory over a 6-year period. Also, the reconstitution of the palm grove ecosystem in low, medium, and high density area. What I'm referring to here, when I say low, medium, and high density area, is connected to the map I showed previously, where you could see which area of the Marrakech Palm Grove have high density, medium density, and low density. Through complementary resilient and protected species and the regeneration of the marshes with a view to their official classification as SIBE, as I was referring previously, a site of interest from a biological and ecological perspective. Also strengthening the autonomization of the agricultural community and also develop agri-tourism as an important component to provide environmentally friendly livelihoods and decent jobs in a particular area. And again, after that, over an 8-year period, strengthen a proactive, inclusive, and integrated management of the palm grove. Then, the other elements that we are keen to work on more precisely, you can see on the top right the entirety of the Marrakech Palm Grove. To a large extent, while all of it is of interest, of course, our activities will focus in different elements of that particular area, including the SIBE on the top left, which is the site of interest from a biological and environmental perspective. So we will strengthen the classification in that regard, strengthen what we do in terms of sanitation, work towards replenishing the original marshland with surplus treated wastewater, reinforce plant plantation through including with local species, regenerate the original biodiversity, strengthen our activities in maintenance, put in place a sustainable management plan, and strengthen awareness and education campaigns. So yeah, I think that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ayman, for walking us through some of your work at the Marrakech Palm Grove. I think it's interesting to see how it has evolved over the years, and you talk about densification. I could see from the pictures how the greening is improving and all of that. I was going to ask you, what were some of the challenges that you faced in trying to achieve some of this objective when it comes to improving the densification, especially also working with the local communities to bring them on board, to also be stakeholders and custodians in the whole project? Can you share some of that with us?
Thank you. These are very important and relevant questions. I would say, well, when it comes to interfacing with stakeholders, whether at local or national level, it is really not an issue for us. The Mohammed VI Foundation for Environmental Protection is a very well-respected stakeholder. We are a facilitator, we are trusted, we are perceived as such by the entirety of the community. So we do enjoy this position, and it is very helpful to making progress. However, I would say that the two main issues that we had to contend with, the first of them is water stress. Unfortunately, as you know, the whole MENA region is under tremendous water stress, including because of climate change. So when it comes to water and how we use water and making sure that we are as efficient as possible in the usage of water, this is something that is a deep challenge, and we're always looking for innovation, of course, in close consultation with the local stakeholders. The second issue will be urban pressure, because Marrakech is one of the well, most touristic cities in the world. I don't know if you've had the
Yes,
pleasure of
yes,
visiting
yes.
it. Yeah, it's a very
I've heard a lot
beautiful
about it,
city.
yeah.
It's the tourism capital of the country. And as such, this Marrakech Palm Grove is very embedded in the city. So because of urban expansion, there are some pressures on the Marrakech Palm Grove, but it's important to strike a balance between protecting and conserving that space while also providing decent housing for the population.
Very interesting. And I think from one of the sessions we had yesterday that talks about the forestation of our cities, and
Yeah.
there was a classification about inner forest, which is just within the city, and then the far away forest, which is outside of the city. I think this is a very good example of an inner forest and has a lot of potential in contributing to the well-being of the people. And I think that's one of the key primary objectives, while you guys are keeping that heritage and to continue to maintain it, to be able to provide that support. And I wish you good luck in trying to
Thank you.
balance between the urban encroachment for development and economic purposes versus the need to preserve the natural resources as well. So thank you very much once again for the presentation. This will be the first presentation in the morning that we'll be having. We're going to be joining again, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back for another session for today. Thank you all for joining us, and stay tuned with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.